Welcome to Embracing Infinity, exploring the infinite oneness in the space of love and truth. Host Jennifer Rose is an international spiritual medium, healer, channeler, mentor, and transformational guide. Her focus is encouraging individuals to know themselves within the lens of their divine heart and highest potential, to evolve within the frequency of love and peaceful harmony. Now, here's your host, Jennifer Rose.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm Jennifer Rose, and thank you all for being here today on Embracing Infinity on the Sacred Spiral Network. So happy to see all of you this morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are in the time zone area, too. It's so lovely to be connected across the world in this way. So I hope you're all having a fabulous Friday as we move into the weekend. We should have beautiful weather as we're kind of getting close to summer solstice now. We've got Father's Day coming, so there's a lot of excitement about that. So I'm just real excited to be here with all of you here today with my special guest, Meagan Michael, who's just a most beautiful soul. And as everyone's coming in, I just want to say hi to Kimmy, and I want to say hi to Cheyenne that's coming in too. A few quick announcements before we get started. This weekend, actually later today, Kelly Bruckle, who is the creator and producer of Sacred Spiral Network, will have her show on at 1 p.m. Pacific time, which is 4 Eastern and 9 in the UK. So you don't want to miss Kelly. So have a quick little lunch or dinner break and then head on over to her show after Embracing Infinity. Tomorrow, Saturday, Kelly and Debbie Romero will be doing a beautiful Father's Day demonstration at 12 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. UK. And this coming Sunday, I've got my Sunday spiritual service. And that is at 10 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. UK too. Kelly is going to be our guest speaker on that. So that's, she's a first time doing that for the Love of Spirit. So I'm really excited about that. And then Miss Melinda Oling is going to be our guest medium. So we have a really fun day planned. And Fran Pierce will be doing her poetry as well. She's got a really special one planned for everyone here today. Hi, Marion. Thanks for coming in. Hi, Sandy. Thanks for coming in as we're all starting to join. So did I get all my announcements out? I think I did. If I missed anything, I'm sorry. But you also don't want to miss Debbie's show every Wednesday, Transcend with Debbie, which is also at 11 a.m. Pacific time and 7 p.m. UK. Hi, Jennifer. Thanks for coming today. So good to see all of you. So that's beautiful with all of our announcements. And our next Sacred Spiral Embracing Infinity show will be next Friday, and I've got Daniela Florio coming on too, so I'm really excited to have her come on my show. I've been on hers, and so it's nice to bring it full circle and have her come back as well. So I wanted to get started, and I've been getting all kinds of like fun little downloads these last couple of days to see what Spirit would like to share with us. And there's a really lovely kind of switch in the energy. It's been pretty intense for a lot of people recently in these last couple of months, but then there's been a lovely shift, and it's become very kind of like more softer and more whimsical, more of the inner spirit, the inner child of us kind of coming forward too. So it's a beautiful way to see the energies kind of shift. Hi, Melinda. Hello. She's always like, hey, Rose. I just announced you, Melinda, that you're going to be our medium on Sunday. So we're very excited about that. So you guys don't want to miss Melinda. That's going to be so much fun. And but a couple of things happened too. Like it's been an interesting couple of days. But this morning, I ran across in my memories over on Facebook. There's a Lewis Carroll post that I did, who's Alice in Wonderland, of course. And it says, the only way to achieve the impossible is to believe that it is possible. And it really sparked a little bit of joy in me too. And then I got a little awareness of coming in that was with Federico Fellini, he's a well-known Italian filmmaker. And I love quoting him because he's all things magical and fun. And he says a couple of things. He says, if you see with innocent eyes, everything is divine. And that just got me like all sparkly and magical when I heard that. And one of my favorite quotes of his that I use very often when I talk. There's two different versions of it, but I pulled them both up. One is you have to live spherically in all directions, never lose your childish enthusiasm, and things will come your way. And he also says very similarly, no matter what happens, always keep your childhood innocence. It's the most important thing. And that just opens up a beautiful um, package, a beautiful present of ideas for all of us. And as we have Father's Day coming in on Sunday too, I think of the dads and I think of the kids. And I think of my recent trip to the beach where, one kid had built a big hole in the sand and was laying in it, having the greatest time. And then the dad was burying the other kid in the sand and putting it on. And she was just like, thought that was so great. And fatherhood has really come a long way, I have to say. Sandy is saying, even if you lose it, you can find it again. That is so, so, so true. So, so, so true. Thank you, Sandy. Yes, yes, yes. There are times where we think we may lose it if we're going through, a little bit of darkness or some grief and loss, and you just wonder if you're ever going to get that back. That sort of like, your innocence again. But we can, because love heals in that way. And Jennifer, you saw that same thing, believe in the impossible. That's true. And doesn't that remind us of when we were children, when we were putting, capes on, and whether it be a real one or we just tied a sheet around our necks and we were running around being superheroes and playing with our Monopoly money like it was real, and, putting little outfits on to make us feel grown up, and then going out into the world and riding our bikes until it got dark. Back then we could do that. It was a different world back then too. But so much imagination, and it's like, it's such a beautiful thing to think about. And if we can really try to nurture that part of ourselves, I feel like we will have more wholeness in life, and we will have more joy in life as well too. I heard spirit kind of put something into my awareness today that was about children, and it was a little bit more serious, well, a lot more serious, but it says, they were saying to me that we can measure the health of a society or a group or community by the way that we treat our children. And that really like just hit home to like my heart, because um, that's something that like I've always really believed in my whole life. I'm a big fan of like Dr. Sears, who was a big proponent of attachment parenting and building secure attachments with children. He's one of the pioneers in that field. And so I happen to be a fan of his too. And I do believe that um, the more we can treat children as human beings, as spiritual beings, especially when they're young, they're just these big open channels still connected to spirit, and all the kinds of wisdom flows through them. And if we can treat them with the same respect and dignity we would treat even a stranger, or want people to treat us, um, how much more we can elevate and evolve into that higher consciousness that we're all wanting to achieve. And it's never too late. It's never too late to do better or to make changes, and how we treat each other and how we treat our kids too, just to have that growing in awareness too, just to let every child know, that they are loved no matter what. I think that's one of the most important things. And it made me also like flow into my awareness of how we treat each other. And I know that I spoke of this last week too. And but it built, which was so beautiful, it built on that, was that if we could see the inner child in each and every body, would it change the dynamic? Would it change the way we word things? Would it change the way we phrase things, so that we could be kinder, gentler with each other, right? Wouldn't that be so beautiful? Um, would it cause us to think twice about how we interact and treat each other? Because would we want that person, if that person were our son or our daughter, would we want them to be spoken to in that way? And so those are like really good self-awareness things that we can do when we think about our interactions, because it is through our development of our self-awareness, our emotional intelligence, our divine presence, really bringing in that presence of being in this moment, being very connected with each other in that way, that we grow and we elevate and we heal through love, because love is the ultimate healer. And we build that presence of love and that expansion of love through how we treat ourselves and how we treat each other. Beautiful. Claudia, hi. I see and always ask them to play and look at things with their inner child eyes and hearts. It's so, so beautiful. And just think of all the many ways that we can, do that for ourselves. Maybe it's, going to a park or a beach, or, playing sports, or, going into a candy store. That was one thing I did recently. And it was just so fun because it was decorated so whimsically that I just had to go in it, and it was seeing all the little funny little presents in there, and the old fashioned things, and then the new things and everything. Sandy, hello. You've been getting downloads about dropping into our hearts and seeing others as hurt children. Yeah, so it is very timely too. And I'm getting chills as I just read that, because spirit is definitely, this is something that's in the collective. And what a beautiful thing. What a beautiful gift for all of us after putting in some hard work this first half of the year, right? Isn't that wonderful? So that makes me so happy. Buy some flowers for yourself, or go somewhere fun, watch a funny movie. I was listening to music this morning, and the Lion King song came on, Can You Feel the Love Tonight by Elton John. And I thought, oh, that's perfect. That was just so perfect, So something for us all to like think about and like ruminate. And maybe we could just take this weekend to do something fun for the little person in us. And then remember to have that playful interaction with each other as well. So appreciated. Let me see here. Yes, exactly. It is. It is. It's so simple. It's as simple as that. It really is. And isn't it funny when we get full circle to get to that, we go into this big expansion, of looking, and then we come back to just the basics, right? The basics, Um, there's another quote by Federico, and he says, experience is what you get while you are looking for something else. So in that looking, we get all of this experience, and then we just come back to the beginning. The end is the beginning, and the end is the beginning is the end. Isn't that funny? So that was a lot of fun to talk about with y'all here. And I want to make sure, I want to say hi to you too. Hello, Julianne. Hello, Christine. Very nice to see all of you here too. Yes, Melinda, you do live with your inner child and play each day. I know you do. You're always giving yourself the hugs. I love that. Love, love, love that. Hello, Claudia. Hello, Mandy. Hello, Jennifer. So I hope I've said hello to everybody here too. Sometimes when the comments are in different pages and different destinations, they don't always make it into where they're supposed to. So just know, I'll see them later. I try my best, but I've noticed sometimes that the comments don't always find their way in. Most of them do, but a few of them slip through the cracks there too. So I'm so excited to bring in our guest now. She's just one of the most beautiful souls. And please just give a warm welcome to Meagan Michael. Please bring her in. Hi, Meagan. Thanks for being
Jennifer.
Here today.
Thank you. How are you? That's my cat Trixie, by the way. She's gonna make
we Trixie. We love Trixie too. And I know we met a few years ago. It was a similar story as when I met Alice Trevorrow, who I had on a few weeks ago. She's another friend of mine. She found me on social media too, and then you found me too and invited me onto your program. And then we've been friends ever since. And you have this wonderful group called High Vibrational Mastery. And so bringing all kinds of positivity to everybody. And I know you're a beautiful psychic medium and healer and channeler and all things wonderful and magical. But I would love anything else you would love to share with all of us. I know some of your friends here are today too supporting you. There's Kimmy. Yeah.
Hi, Kimmy. Hi, Claudia. Hi, Sandy.
Yeah. What would you like to share about yourself today?
Oh, about me. Okay.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Well, gosh, what about me? I'm really excited to be here. I know that I was not prepared to talk about myself. I have not done that in a while. I also mentor and coach clients, which I really love doing. Because I love working with people one-on-one and helping them with their inner child. I mean, that's a big part. What you were talking about, Jennifer, is so key. And all because I work with clients for healing, but it's so healing is always a multi-dimensional process. It's the body mind spirit complex. You can't just isolate it to a body. So that's what we work on, and my guides do channel through me for the guided meditations and such when I'm working with clients, and that's just a beautiful thing. So I've been working more behind the scenes instead of on the camera the past year, but I do miss this. I do miss being live and seeing everybody, and so this is exciting. I appreciate the opportunity. It's exciting to be here and to be with you again. You're amazing. So
Thank you, C. And it's nice to like be able to return the gift because you brought me into your program too. And hey, Nancy's on my angel team for the Love of Spirit too. So, and Stacey's here too. They're all excited to meet you, see Meagan too. And I know some of them are in your group as well too. And but yeah, it's so nice to be able to like return after you welcomed me onto your show too when I was a little bit newer to doing the interviews and stuff, and so you trusted me, and so I feel so like heart open to have you here with me today because you are one of the kindest, sweetest, most sensitive people I've ever met, and you're so gracious and you're so giving and you care so much, and I know that you're just a deeply empathic, sensitive being, and that's something that we've talked about before in the past, just in our conversations too.
yes,
and you've got a lot of shout outs here for what a great
Thank
healer
you.
you are and what a beautiful person you are too. And
Thank you.
Jennifer Garcia, who's on here, she says she needs to find her inner child. Maybe she could be less stressed and have more fun. That sounds like a plan. Let's do that this weekend. I know my girlfriend, I'm not sure if she's watching her now, but she likes to get herself chocolate chip cookies. That's what she does for herself. She gives herself chocolate chip cookies, but that's like a lot of fun too. Yeah.
It's interesting to find out how other people, connect with their inner child, what everybody does, because I'm sure we all do it somewhat differently. My inner child likes to be rewarded with food. Fortunately, I've made that healthy food, but she likes food like a veggie sub or something. If I do something that I'm really not excited about, but I do it and I needed to get it done. And then I'm like, okay, I'll give you a sub. All right, there you go. And that's just my own thing, but it works for me. It's one of many things. But
right. Exactly. What else do you like to do?
Oh, to connect with meditation, but it's not that she loves meditation, it's that I can drop into my heart center and we do it together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then definitely just playing with my dogs or going for a walk and just appreciating nature and not having a plan to be somewhere or do something or something specific, just allowing myself to just go with the flow like when we were children. Like you were talking about playing pretend in childhood.
Yeah.
I used to play at Jeannie. I Dream of Jeannie. I played Barbara Eden's character. Of course, whether my friends liked it or not, I was Jeannie. And the thing on the head. Oh my God! I used to wear my mom's slips on my head. That was that long hair. And as a kid, my hair. Well, this is my natural curl, but it was very short. My mom kept it short because she didn't know what to do with it. So I had this dream of long straight hair. But Sandy says it's an attitude and an approach to life. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, very, very true. And it's funny because, we're both mediums too, and we've learned that mediumship happens through the space of the imagination in our mind, and so that's something that we really have to get back in touch with, and through our development, we have to learn to be okay with not getting everything right when we're developing to get to be a professional medium too. We get a lot of no's, and it's like, oh, we made a mistake, and like, so there's a healing process in that too. But I know that like when I teach mediumship too, a lot of it is all about play. Like if you want to get your clairvoyance, better, like do art, do playful art, and examine things out in nature and the intricacy and, listen to music for your clairaudience and be playful and interact with people and all of this, because the spirit world is so symbolic and they are so playful in that way, the way that they work. And when we open up to working that way, versus just the quite so regimented kind of fashion, when we open to working up the different ways that spirit likes to work, and it may be angels, it may be guides, it may be spirit animals, maybe a fairy wants to pop up too, and it's like, with my tribe, like they're all welcome. They're all welcome.
Absolutely. I remember as a kid, I always used to look at like Mr. Ed and Flipper and Lass. I'm a huge animal lover. So looking back at what I was drawn to as a child was not only magic, like Dream of Genie and Bewitched and, like that, but it was also all the animal shows. And I remember the movie Dr. Dolittle, and I thought, I want to do that. I want to be able to talk to animals. And I do now, but now that I know what I'm receiving is actually talking to them, it took me like the first 50 years of my life to not knowing who I am and what I am, you know what I'm saying, for me to be where I am now. And maybe it wasn't quite 50, but quite a while now. It's been about 9-10 years since I've been on my path, knowing that I'm a psychic, knowing that I'm a medium, knowing that I can talk to animals and they talk back.
No,
it's amazing.
It is. It's so much fun. And that's what's so great about what we do. We have so much fun with it too. I know that what we do requires, spirit will put us through a whole lot of transformation and, make us go through a lot of healing process and all of that, all the dark stuff too. We have to go through that too. But on the flip side of that, it's the magic and the fun. We have so much fun being magical together. You know what I mean? It's so great because like the spirit world is full of that. It's full of the imagination and wonder and just sparkles and all of that too. And that really does get that part of us like alive again. And it's so wonderful too. So looks like everybody is definitely rating. Kimmy likes to joke around and make people laugh. That's the best. Laughter is like the best medicine, the best healer too.
So high vibrational, right?
Yeah. And I know as women too, we need that too, because we're, such emotional, sensitive beings too. So people who can make us laugh are always like top of our list, right? Sandy's saying it's 222. Yay. How cool is that? Kelly is saying her inner child likes to explore nature and sing random songs. Oh, I love that, Kelly.
That.
Kelly, everyone give a shout out to Kelly too. She's the creator of the network and she does all of this, for us, we're doing all of this for our community, for the love of spirit too. And she works so hard at what she does. If y'all send her some love, we really, really appreciate it.
Sending love to Kelly, infinite love and light. Yeah, for sure. I know what it takes to produce a show. And so I'm seeing what she's doing and I know what she's doing. And that's a lot. It's amazing what the whole Sacred Spiral Network and
If you would please, I'll give Kelly a follow on her Psychic Medium page and on the Sacred Spiral page. It helps us grow. And you can follow Miss C. Meagan and me and her group, High Vibrational Mastery. We would really appreciate it because we work really hard. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Yes. Also, you have a YouTube channel, right? Because I know you're streaming on YouTube right now as well. So people can also
on Kelly Brickles. Yes, Kelly Brickles. Right. If you could please subscribe to that as well, and to see Megan's YouTube channel if you could be a subscriber. So it just helps us grow. It's a way to give back for all that we're giving to all of you. We love you. Thank you. We really appreciate it too. And but it does segue a little that when we were talking about like how much like transformation we have to go through to do this work, but the payoff is that we get to come back home to the heart. We get to like regain some of what's been kind of buried under all the layers of adulting. Adulting is a good thing, and so is playing with the fairies too. And but I know one thing that we've discussed in the past that had kind of come into my awareness this week too is when we're going through transformation, and it's happening to more and more like younger people today too, that are starting to go through it too. So it opens up a new area of how we hold space for kids too, right? Because sometimes kids, may have a learning disability. Sometimes there may be issues with like mental illnesses sometimes too, but sometimes they may be going through a spiritual awakening and transformation. And these are not, they may be overlapping, but they're not exactly the same thing, right? And they needed to be approached in different ways too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and I know that with adults as well too. So some people think that when we're going through different transformations, people think, that they're going crazy because they're starting to hear the voices of spirit and things like that. Or they may be even having parts of self that are coming up into the conscious mind to be healed that, that have sort of been, I'm going to say, like, sectioned off by the mind over time and things like that too. It is an important thing that I think we can spread awareness of to make sure that we're holding space for people, or that people are getting what they need, the support that they need, in a way that's actually, like, very helpful for them. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like,
I
where
do.
I'm going with that.
And do you know that I have found that awakening often presents as mental illness, whether it's to themselves or to somebody they know, where other people are like, what's up with that person? Or even like, what's up with me? What's wrong with me? That very derogatory, question, what's wrong with me? I invite you all never to ask what's wrong with yourself. Nothing is wrong with you. You're perfect just the way you are, as divinely intended. Yes.
Exactly.
But a lot of times, like you were saying, they'll hear things. Well, if you go to a doctor and you tell them that you hear things, they automatically give you a diagnosis, and you might find yourself, with a lot of medication and even hospitalized. So there really is like a fine line. And once you know who you are and what you are, and you understand that this is spirit, then that's awesome. I'm sure there are still people that will be benefited by, hospitals and medications and stuff, but not everyone who hears things or sees things, needs a label.
Exactly. And I feel the same way. Like, some people that is their journey to go the medical route, and they need their medication or they need their doctor. But then some people have had less help from that too. I know there's a documentary, it's probably old, I'm not sure if we could still find it or not, but it was called Crazy Wise, and it was all about it was all about that issue of people who had gone through spiritual awakenings and transformations, but then were given all kinds of diagnoses, all kinds of medications, none of which helped them. And they eventually came to realize that they were going through, like, a Kundalini awakening or a dark night of the soul or significant spiritual transformation. And these things are really, really important, and I suppose that in finding that, that was part of the journey too, in realizing, that they went through this to get to that point, to realize it. And that is part of the journey too. But that said, to raise that awareness, I've met other people who are parents who have spoken with me, and they're like, I'm pretty sure this is a spiritual awakening that's happening. We kind of talk about it and things like that too. So there's that awareness. Wow. And then they kind of have to kind of like coach their teen on, like, to be careful with what they say, so that they can, like, be in the outside world and things like that, so that they, Sandy says that she spoke to the therapist who completely discounted her gifts. Yeah, so that can happen. But there are therapists out there who do understand spiritual awakening and transformation. So it's just a matter of finding the right one for you too. I'm sorry that happened to you too. They're just not, the funny thing about that is any person who's a therapist is going to be working with spirit because they're helping people, because they're in a helping service. And so, like, what I mean by that is because they're a version of a healer. And so if they don't believe in spirituality, or they don't believe in our spiritual gifts, like our extrasensory perception and things like that too, they don't realize that, in their, when they are being therapeutic, in a way that is helpful, like spirit's kind of like channeling through them too, so I just see there's a change in them too over time, because spirit will keep working through them in a healing capacity and hopefully elevate them and their understanding too. But in Claudia's case, that person wasn't there just yet, but we hope that they get there. We hope that they can get there, because the more we can, like, hold space, and have that greater awareness, because we're starting to see it even in younger preteens and things like that. And I know, like, in mediumship too, people will sometimes say they're having paranormal activity in their home. And it kind of turns out it's because, like, there's teenagers and they're going through puberty, and there's just a lot of kinetic energy kind of happening. You know what I mean? There's a lot of transformation happening too.
Right.
And then there's nothing, there's nothing bad or negative going on in the house. It's just the energy, it's just, there's just a whole lot of energy that we need to kind of like ground and things like that too. Jennifer saying she doesn't agree with medication for most things. Obviously, some things require it, but she's learned over the years that her boys are so sensitive to medications like anti-epileptic and penicillin. So she's very cautious. Her youngest has hypertension and she's lowered it over past 12 months without medication. So you're obviously following your wisdom, Jennifer, your mama wisdom. So, and there is, the mother's intuition is a really big thing to know like what your children can and can't handle too. So I applaud you for that too. Allison's come on. Welcome, Allison. Nice to see everybody here. So looks like she's saying, yes, remember who you are. That's beautiful. I love that, Sandy. And isn't that part of the journey? I think of Alice in Wonderland. I think of Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, and it's that return. It's that return to self, much wiser, but also, that sort of like getting your innocence back, getting that part of you back and be able to go out into the world and see the beauty in the world too.
I love what you're saying. Yeah, that totally resonates with me. Amazingly, I'm not jaded after all these years, but I'm not, because I really, that's why I really connect with your energy. I always have, because you're very heart-centered like me and super sensitive, And I've got Pisces moon, Scorpio rising, so I'm all kinds of, sensitive and psychic. I know, right?
Oh yeah.
But Aries sun, Aries sun like you. So,
yeah. So you've got the fire and the emotions and all of that mixed in together. I always think it's funny because, Aries is like the infant, the beginning, and then Pisces is the end. But by the time you get to the end, you're back at the beginning. So you've just got two innocent dreamers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Isn't that funny? And then the whole journey in between too. And then, oh, look, Debbie's joined us. Hey, Debbie, nice to see you, beautiful. And then just all along the way, what a beautiful journey and path. And how have you learned to embrace your sensitivities? Because I know you're very empathic. You've got all the pink light around you as well too. But I can see, and you're wearing the perfect color, because when I see the pink turn to that kind of rose color, I know that I'm with somebody who has learned to embrace their sensitivity and mature it to a way that they can, really be here in life and not let it take them over. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. Thank you for that. Yeah, I honestly, well, I experienced the whole doctor, oh my God, I must be crazy. Mama thinks I'm crazy, sends her to a doctor at 13 to get antidepressants. I went down that route for a lot of years. And I believed that I was different because I was nuts. I did not, and excuse me, expression, I'm saying, but that's how I used to talk to myself. I thought that I was these definitions, and I didn't fit in anywhere else. So I figured, okay, at least I fit in somewhere. It makes sense to me. I don't fit in with the normal 9 to 5 people, working and coming home and turning on the TV, drinking a beer. I don't drink at all. But anyway, it didn't resonate with me what was going on, and I didn't connect with it because, I'm very sensitive. I connect with animals and love and spirit and stuff. So it took me a long time to go down that path and to embrace my sensitivity as my superpower. So in answer to your question, my sensitivity went from, oh my God, I used to literally say, God broke a perfectly good Aries by putting my moon in Pisces and making me so sensitive. I swear. That's what I used to think. It's my business. It's my life. It's my soul is here, but I didn't used to think that when I was younger. I thought it was a mistake. I thought it was a big mistake.
Yeah, I know, I kind of think that the Aries kind of helped me in life. It helped me move through my very sensitive self in me too, because it gave me the determination to keep pushing forward, even if people weren't believing in me, even if people teased me, didn't get me, because I've always been one of those hard-on sleevers, rose-colored glasses kind of person too. And, even kids had learned to kind of go, what's that? And it's but I love all you people. What's wrong with you? You know? And yeah, I get that, but I do feel like that the fire helped me to like be able to keep that steadfastness and that determination and that drive to keep moving forward despite, you know, the
Definitely.
other people too. But I get what you're saying too. It's not easy to be sensitive. It's not easy to be emotional. We wear our heart on our sleeves and that gets, you know, like slapped down a lot and stomped, and my little flower gets all stomped on too, you know, by people who don't understand.
Well,
And I
you know,
get that, but we just keep growing it back again, you know?
absolutely. And you know, until you know that that when you, if you're really super sensitive, like we are in many of the audiences, I'm sure, and I know some of them actually very well. Um, if you don't know that you're picking up everybody's energy and the collective energy and all that, you could easily think you're all kinds of diagnoses by, because your moods go up and down and up and down. I feel great. I don't feel great. I feel angry. I don't feel, you know, what's all that about? You know, and once you realize that, wait a minute, I'm picking up, when that's not mine. A headache, I didn't have it a minute ago. Spirit, please take that away. It's gone. Wait a minute, anger, I'm not angry. Why am I suddenly angry? Oh, I was reading this post and I get connected to the energy of the person who wrote it, and suddenly I'm like irritated. That's a big,
Yeah.
huge thing in
That's
life once
very
you
true.
realize that.
I'm so happy you brought that up because that's a very real thing.
Hmm.
I want to say hi to our girl Fran. Fran's our poetess for this Sunday. Thanks
Ah,
for coming in, Fran. I want to say hi to Kristen too. Yeah, Kristen can relate to that with her sensitivity. She thought she was going crazy too.
there you go.
Pisces, Kelly says Pisces moon empathy. That's so beautiful.
Oh,
We love that. We love that. Yeah,
yes,
very
yes,
true.
yes.
They are so beautiful. My girl Debbie, she's a Pisces too, and so her and I, we share lots of childlike fun together too. But we've had these discussions too because we're both very open channels, so we can feel the collective, and so sometimes we can help each other out because it can be a little overwhelming and hard to discern. You
Yes.
know, how much of it is us, even though we're like teachers in this, and we've come very far in this too. Sometimes it can still be a little bit hard to kind of pick apart, and that's where it helps to have a person, you know, or a tribe that can help with that too,
Yes,
just to kind of like give you some feedback too.
I
And
agree.
but you know, we were just talking about this last week because Kelly and I were talking on the show about how we kind of have fun also knowing what each other is like feeling, because we may be having girl talk and go, I just got this, or I just felt that. Oh, that was me earlier. You know? So that can be kind of fun because we're like, look how psychic we are. This is magical too.
Hmm.
But we can. You're so right. We can feel the collective, and whatever is going on in the collective. If it's heavy, we can pick up on it, and then
Oh
we feel
gosh,
heavy,
yes.
and then we're just like, oh, it's a lot. It really is a lot to hold that, you know, but that's how we're made, and that's how we're designed, and that's how we've been
Yes.
called by spirit to work in this way, to be able to hold the space, the energy, to know what's happening. Because if we know what's happening, then we can be a better of service too. And we can also help to transmute that and heal that with the divine love that we channel through, you know, from spirit coming in with us too. So,
Absolutely.
so happy you brought that up.
Oh, I'm glad. Kimmy Siegel, she's right there, and she's my sounding board. She's, you know what I mean. We're really
Yeah,
close, and I'll be like,
your soul
and it's just,
sister.
yeah, definitely. And you know, I can just share anything, and like she gets it. Oh, we're also telepathic twins. You know, like I just like I'll do something, or
Yeah.
I'll doing something. We haven't talked in a few days, and then when we connect, we're like, oh, I've been doing this. Really, I've been doing that too. And but it's
Yeah,
good to
that's how Debbie and I are too. Yeah. And you know,
it's
Kimmy, you're
priceless to be able
Taurus.
to have someone to connect with
Yeah,
on that
it
level,
really
like you're
is. Oh, that's
saying. Yeah.
godsend. That is a godsend. Yeah. So Kimmy and you are like, you know, you're definitely high level soulmates too. It's a total godsend. I wanted to say, Kimmy, you know, you're Taurus moon 10, that you tend to see a lot of mediums with Taurus moon, and that too.
Oh,
So that's another little gift that you've got there too. I wanted to point out. Hi, Mara. She's joined us too. Nice to see you. So we've got a lot of friends here today. So we're having a really fun time together and too. And the other thing I heard you bring up too was like, oh, if I see a post, like I can feel angry all of a sudden too, because I'm picking up on the energy of the post, you know, and
hmm,
that's something we've talked about before too, and in a little bit of a different light, that sometimes as females, we're not always allowed to express that, you know, express our anger to like what actually is ours, that we may have held on to from younger days because we're raised to kind of be nice and sweet, you know, we're raised to,
okay,
you know, be very up here in the chakras, and then, you
right.
know, in the lower chakras is where we like, we learn to embrace more of our power and being able to stand up for ourselves. But sometimes as we're learning to do that, it can show up, a little bit angrier, that, sometimes it's the dragon energy coming into. I've
Yes.
had this conversation. The dragon spirit comes in to help us finally when we've been pushed too far or crossed a boundary, to come in and to be able to assert ourselves too. So it's another way of looking at it too. But we were kind of having fun last week, and we were loving each other. We love you even though you're angry. It's all good. Unconditional. It's not easy being a girl,
I'm telling you.
I know. But we've got Father's Day coming up this Sunday, and it does bring me great joy to see how how evolved that's come. Because I know here in America, at least, it's not uncommon to see dads pushing the strollers. They're on their little jog with the strollers, and then they've got a younger child riding their bike next to them. And you never would have seen that when we were kids. It was dad was always just, they're the provider, they go to work, they make the money, you know what I mean? And you didn't get a lot of that, one-on-one time. And so we've come really far. So that really excites me, and we're talking about play and inner child. And that is something that dads are really good at. They're good at taking kids to the park and the beach and throwing the ball and, helping them to take risks and climb trees. Whereas sometimes the moms, we get a little bit like, oh, that's too scary, don't do that. And the dads are like, yeah, I can do it,
My dad was like that. My dad put me on a two-wheeler and I wound up bumping into the fence and flying off. My mother's screaming, ah! And my dad's like, ha, 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 that's so funny. And I was laughing too. Oh yeah. He'd go on Space Mountain with me in Disney World. My dad was fun. And I remember when I was going through my healing process, I spent a lot of years healing from the transition of my father, because it happened when I was 23. I was not awake yet. So I thought he was just gone. And I thought, oh wow, the one person who didn't judge me harshly and think terrible things of me, and they're gone. And it took me a lot of healing to get to the place where Father's Day has no emotional pull on me whatsoever. I'm grateful for my dad. I also, when I see men with their children playing, I love that. It just warms my heart. It really does. I love it so much. I can see it, right. So it's a beautiful thing to be able to have positive feelings about something that might have, inspired sadness in prior years. But I love that.
I'm so glad that you got to share about your dad too. And Stacia's dad was like that too. So it's like we get to give the dads a shout out, and just thanks for all that they do, up in heaven and here on earth, to give them a shout out, and it's not easy to go out in the conquerors and, doing battle out there in the world, too, like protecting their women, that kind of thing too, and taking care of their kids when they're tired, when they would rather, probably watch some TV or something because they're tired. But they come home and they're like, okay, what do you need me to do? How can I? The Calvary is here. So we just give a little shout out to our gentlemen friends out there too. So that's awesome. Too.
Absolutely.
So, I would love Spirit saying, ask Thea to talk about our group. So would you mind talking about your high vibrational mastery group that you have? And I hope everybody can swing on over there and join it, because I know you share a lot of great things there.
Thank you. High Vibrational Mastery, the group. I started that in 2018, I believe it was. I was just totally inspired. But it's all about the foundation of it is a law of attraction. Like Abraham Hicks and other teachers talk about, I talk about the foundation of my work as well, because it was also the foundation of my personal healing. When I started to be accountable for my life and even the choices that I made when I was, connected with people in situationships, that wasn't all. You can't just blame and you can, but it doesn't serve to heal you. So I had to own my stuff, but also in that being accountable for everything that I've done, I also get to create my own reality in the now. And so it's all about creating your own reality. And of course we talk about, spirituality, and sometimes Kim will offer readings or I'll offer, readings. You share your beautiful work in my group, and so it's very heart-centered and uplifting, and I'd love for you all to join if you're drawn.
But I'm so happy that you're doing that. You're just creating a beautiful space of positivity for everybody too. I want to see Jennifer just put in the chat, her husband's gone to spirit, and her son's so it's the second Father's Day where he's in heaven, and his birthday is on Monday. and their
Oh,
anniversary is on Tuesday. So
oh,
Jennifer, we're like sending you so much love.
so much love.
For you've got a big weekend coming up, and
Yeah.
I know Spirit's going to be so around you, like they're going to be glued to you. Especially your husband, he's going to be glued to your family like left and right these next few days. So we're all sending so much like love and support your way too. And I hope you can, find some time to do something special with your family today. This weekend, go somewhere fun, and somewhere beautiful where you can really, be part and feel his spirit around you too. It's so lovely. So I'm giving all my heart love to you too. And Kelly's putting all your information in there too.
Oh, thank you,
And
Kelly.
so
Thank
everybody
you.
can find you. Yay.
Also,
um,
if you're feeling sad because your loved one is passed and you're missing them, like a big pang of, oh my God, a lot of times they're saying hello to you. They're right there with you, but if you're not aware that they're there, you might perceive this as sadness and loss. But I invite you to,
right.
right? I invite you to ask yourself in that moment, if you have the presence of mind to do so, wait a minute, are you here with me now? Is this why I'm feeling so sad at this moment? That was a game changer for me too. And I know it is for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's so true because when we connect with spirit, we feel this big rush of emotion that comes over us and we feel like we want
Yes.
to cry. And it's hard to sometimes
Yeah.
differentiate between what's really happening within us or that the spirit is just coming so close. And that
Mhm.
soul to soul recognition wells up the emotion in our heart because the heart opens and we're just
Yep.
not always mentally aware to understand what's happening energetically, with
Mhm.
us too, energetically in spirit. I'm so happy that you brought that up. And I'm so happy that you brought up too about, oh, Jennifer, he feels so close. It's hard to accept he's gone. Have the most amazing dream visitations. Oh, what a gift. What a gift.
That
Thank
is a
you for
gift.
sharing that. That's a huge gift. So you know how hard he's trying, how hard he's trying to
Yeah.
be there for you. That's so lovely too. And but I also love what you were saying about taking like that personal responsibility and of in your life too, because that is like the second half of like the law of attraction too, is what's inside of us to help to create our best reality too, of where we're like really taking responsibility for our own healing journey, and getting
Yes.
things to where we really can become these powerful creators and manifestors with our higher self, and to live our best life. And it's like, because it's all in us, right? Don't we like,
Hmm.
we own our joy and happiness. It's in us, and it's
Yes.
okay to be sad because we're just going through the emotions of being human. But when we
Hmm.
realize that we have that responsibility in ourselves too, we take the power back, we take charge of our lives. I'm so happy that you brought that up because it's very empowering.
It is. And a lot of people will say, at first they'll say, well, yeah, all the good things I definitely manifested those, but why would I manifest that? And maybe they'll be talking about cancer or narcissistic or abusive relationships, all things that I've been through personally. And I'm telling you, I had that same like attitude in the beginning, like, what? Why would I? But honestly, cancer was my greatest teacher. And so were all the years and everything else. So a lot of times, oh, wow. A lot of times on the healing journey, just knowing that you can create anything that you want. Your life can be anything that you believe it is. So if you're not believing it's great right now, I invite you to, think about what you want it to be like and envision it like that now and celebrate it with the emotions and the words right now. And I am successful. I am happy. With arms in the air, I'm happy. Empower
I love
yourself.
that. It really can shift the energy. I love that. And really thinking about what you want. Like sometimes we just get so busy with life, we never stop and just take a little bit of stop. Like, what do I really want? What do I really, really want? Because
Hmm.
sometimes what's on the surface may be a little different than what's on a deeper level. It's like sometimes we think we want A, B, and C, and then what we really want is more freedom or more, self-empowerment or more confidence. Those are things we're trying to get via these other things. And I love how you said that cancer was one of your best teacher, because it really is that it's the
Yep.
tower moments, the hard circumstances, and even the difficult people in our lives that can
Hmm.
also be our best teachers. And it's not always easy to
Yes.
see that in the beginning, but in the end you go, wow. And that
Yes.
that was one of the first things I came to when I started going through dark night of the soul. I was like, wow, the darkness is, it's just the kind of like the light with a cloak, like, and it's there
Yes.
to teach you. It's there to teach you. And but it teaches you what you're made of, that nothing can destroy you. Nothing can, we're always like invincible and indestructible, as soul beings, right? So Melinda's really loving your advice.
Oh,
Melinda's
thank you,
giving you a
Melinda.
shout out.
Thank you.
That's so great. I gotta give you, because those are really hard things to experience, to go through cancer. That's a huge journey to go on, and to survive, abusive relationships. Those things, they're very, very deeply impactful experiences to have. And like, look at you here with us, like shining bright like a diamond, and
Absolutely.
being your glorious self. So you give us inspiration.
Heal from anything. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
We can. Last week I was talking about this lady named Immaculée, who had survived the Rwanda genocide too, right? And it's like, if these are other really big things that a lot of us can't even imagine ever going through too. And it's like, if we can look at you all with like such inspiration, because it's like, if you could do that, we can do this, what we're going through too. You know what I mean? And it's like, we're all so much stronger than we realize.
It's true. That's very true.
Yeah.
You've got this. You've got this, guys. You've got this. You can do it.
Amen. Amen to that. Melinda says, sometimes I'll put my glasses on there in my lap here. Sometimes what you really want isn't what you need. So what you need steps forward first. That's very true.
Yeah,
sometimes we can have different sides of us wanting different things, and that can make it really hard. I've noticed along my journey that happening too, and it's forced me to just sort of surrender what's going to happen, because I'm realizing like I'm like I'm part of a bigger process too, if that makes sense, like to just watch it unfold, and like let go, and watch it unfold, and trust that what the best outcome is what will happen, as long as I'm trust in the process, as long as I'm like leading with an open heart the best that I can, right?
Yes. And sometimes what we want changes when we get what we need.
That is very true. That is very true. So I would imagine it's good to keep asking ourselves those questions, and and like reevaluating, and maybe like looking back, and if we're a journal, or looking back at that too. But like, just to ask that one question, like, what do you want? Like, out of like, you think of it like really big, that's a hard question. And we might not even know the answer in that moment. It may take some pondering and some soul searching to really get there, right? Because life is so busy, we're all so busy, like living experiences. And so there's a lot of soul searching in just that one question.
True. Well said.
So what do you want? See, Meagan, what's do you have any like dreams like ahead, or are we just kind of like living in the moment right now, or anything
I've been very much living in the moment. I've been very much living in the moment and going with the flow. Yeah, as long as my furry family is healthy, and we're honestly, the things that I wanted most in life, which is peace of mind and sanctuary, and we have that. I have that. My dogs and cats and we have that, and so I'm really happy. There's more things I will manifest. I know. I feel like I've been in like stasis for a little while, but sometimes we need that when we're healing. Sometimes on our journey, everything gets very still. It's nothing bad or, but bad and good are just judgments. But, it's nothing like contrasting or great. It's just, everything's just okay. And it's important for us to also appreciate the times when everything is just so,
Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes that could make people feel a little uncomfortable, because they're so used to like the chaos or the dramas of life too. And we can have a little bit of discomfort with just things being kind of quiet and peaceful and simple too. But then there's a point where it's going to feel like relief. There's been so much energetic shifts this year, and a lot of people are just like feeling pummeled by curveballs left and right. And I know when you're on the spiritual journey, the powers that be will keep throwing them at you like faster and faster, because it's like, how many learning lessons can we get into this lifetime?
Right?
So yeah, cherish the quiet moments where, the expansion is just kind of like settled to a nice, like balanced place. But I love that. Isn't and in the end, I think we're all wanting to just to feel kind of some freedom and some peace. Just to know
Absolutely.
that, just to know that we feel safe and that we matter to the people that we love and that love us. And that's where I think we come full circle to it really is that simple, what we said earlier, right?
It really is. I'm like, what
Yeah.
matters most to me? Being happy, peace of mind, being
Yeah.
healthy, my family and I, my friends, and everything else can come and go. But I don't, but I know
Right.
when, like a lot of us, when we're still in the thick of things, when we haven't really cleared out a lot of the stuff yet, we might still seek drama. And we think it's coming to that it's happening to us, but it's not. It's because we're actually looking for it and engaging with it. And
Right.
it can seem boring. It can absolutely seem boring at times if there's
Right.
no drama. But you know what? Like you were saying, embracing those times. Those are times of
Exactly.
peace and tranquility. Everything's okay.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. And you're right, it happens through us, not to us. And that's a big step in maturity too, because it's like, why is this happening to me? Why me?
Right.
Why me? Because you're very much in our like preservation of self mode too.
Hmm.
And that's not wrong. It's just
Hmm.
not going to be as comfortable as like to realize it's happening through you and that there's
Right.
a higher voice or a higher force or higher self is really the one who's kind of like driving the steering wheel and we're doing it together as like a partnership,
Yes.
and when you're a law of attraction person, Esther Hicks Abraham too, and I believe she says if you feel a sigh of relief, you're probably moving in the right direction too. So
Oh,
it's
I
like
love that.
whatever like kind of like calms your nervous system
Yes.
down, and it's so like as we're all here listening to information, if you feel things just kind of like open up and just kind of go, ah, like like that's like kind of what you were meant to hear too, and
Yes.
it helps us to make good discernment because some of the messaging out there can sound good, but it can be a little bit negative or a little bit rigid or a little bit of
Yeah.
singular in its perspective, and it's not,
Hmm.
that singular perspective does not embrace the circumstances around it or the other sides and facets of way you could look at it, and that's
Yes.
why you can feel a little bit constricted with that too. It may feel good in the moment, but then it's not going to feel good because there's other parts of you that are saying, wait a minute, have you thought of it this way? Have you thought of it that way?
Absolutely.
um, I don't know why. Do you like to dance? Because all of a sudden I like picked up on dancing come into my awareness.
Oh, big time. I love dancing. I also love doing Zumba. Yeah, it's so funny that I was just thinking about that this morning. I wonder if there's a dance class like that I would resonate with in my local area, but definitely online. Oh yeah, I'd love to dance.
Yeah, that's so cool. I saw it must have just been floating around to me too. You know, I think it's great. Dancing is so like it gets you like in touch, like it's very inner child, but it also gets you in touch with your like your feminine goddess energy too,
It's true.
And like I was saying, like that's the more lower chakra kind of stuff. So that we all want to get in touch with, right?
Absolutely. I even
A lot
recently
of good
just
stuff
this
there,
past
ladies.
Yeah, this past week I started following a couple of belly dancers on Facebook because they have reels. I used to study belly. I used to take belly dancing lessons and stuff, and that was just so much fun. And I like watching them, and I like still practicing in my own home alone.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I love that. I love that. That's gotta feel so grounding. And then it gets you like
yeah,
in touch with like your passionate heart and your like the goddess within you too. I love that. So beautiful.
it
That's so
does. And
cool.
moving our physical body is important too because I notice that the older I get, the more chronologically older that I get, that the body gets because I'm infinite. But that I
Mhm.
need more movement, or I need it's
Yeah.
important. It feels more important now than it even used to, even though I used to love working out. I just feel like movement is just really essential. And I feel it's very
Yeah.
spiritual too. Like you're saying, the goddess energy and all of that, but bringing it down into the body. And so connecting that spiritual energy with the physical body and incorporating, you know what I mean? The whole, all that I am, is just a
Absolutely.
beautiful,
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's how we get that confident. That's what it means to like really be in your power as a woman to develop that. And that's why I know we love being all up here and seeing and all that too, but there's all the beauty down there too, girls. I have to say too. And we're talking about spiritual transformation and in that Kundalini awakening too, that awakens that fire, that fiery that's, in the base chakra too. And that's why a lot of women and men will start going into, random yoga poses and mudras and that, that rhythmic dancing, because they're getting in the flow with that flowy energy too. And they may not know, like, why is my head doing these weird things? And why is my body wanting to go into these interesting positions and things like that? And it's like, you've awakened. Welcome to Wonderland.
Absolutely.
But that rhythmic dancing definitely comes into play. And then when the planets are like really aligned with Venus and things like that, that's when, people start to all of a sudden they feel like, oh, I just feel like I want to do that dancing. Right?
Absolutely. A lot of the tribal, a lot of times I use YouTube all the time. And a lot of times it's whether it's guided meditations or just meditation music or the tribal dance rhythms. Sometimes it'll just sometimes I could just sit and just go into trance, or meditate with that. But other times I just want to move. It's like, I don't know how sometimes it does resonate with me differently, or you know what I mean? Sometimes it's more spiritual and sometimes it's more on the lower chakras. Like,
I know, right? I love that too. I've always been into fitness, so I love that as well too. And then dancing too, and it's so much fun. So Stacya's loving the drums. Melinda's like, oh yes. Melinda's a really active biker, so she goes out there on her electric bike and does that. And
that's cool.
She's such a beautiful soul. We always feel protected with Melinda because she's not afraid of anything, so it's like if you ever want a bodyguard, go out with Melinda too.
Cool.
But she stops and always says hello to, like, if she sees a homeless person along her bike path, she always stops and says hello to them and gives them eye contact and smiles at them so they feel seen and heard. The spirit's coming in for you, Melinda, because I feel like I want to cry now too. So to give you that shout out for being such a good person. And, everybody here who's with us, there's so many beautiful angels that are here with us too. And there's such a beautiful energy that's created too. So I'm so happy like they've all gotten to get to know you more and know more about you. And everybody's like really having fun here with us here today. I'd love to give you just a few minutes. Like, what would you like to share? Any last minute words or thoughts or inspirations that you'd love to share with us before we finish up?
Just believe in yourself. You've got this. You've got this. And sometimes it may take like another healer, like myself or like Jennifer, to get you to the point where you are connecting by yourself and you are receiving your own healing and your own transformation. But if you need someone to assist you, I do that. I know that, find someone, but just know that it's never for you to depend on somebody else for your healing process. Healing is a self process. You heal yourself. So just love yourself, appreciate yourself. You're doing everything right. You're fine. You're exactly where you are in this now moment, and you've got this. Just give yourself the love and support and your inner child. Nurture that inner child. She or he needs that from you because maybe it didn't happen earlier in life. And so you deserve it now, You can really integrate. You can integrate all of yourselves, all the parts of you. And I feel like that's a strong part of the healing journey. So,
amen, sister. You're speaking my language. It doesn't get much better than that.
Thank you. Yeah.
We could talk for hours and hours and hours and just get back to that right there. And it's like, that's it, like, that's just it right there. Thank you so much. You're so beautiful. You are an angel and you are a goddess and all things beautiful and wonderful. And so I'm so happy we had this time together and got to talk about a lot of important things. All these beautiful people here today. Everybody's saying thank you, and enjoying the conversation. And we had a great time. So please, y'all remember, and we had no unexpected visitors trolling our shows today too. So that was good. So
we have super high vibrations.
We did well. I know, right? That's great. So for everybody who's listening and watching too, we thank you for your love and support, your positive energy too. And if you would please give Meagan a follow over on her pages and a subscribe on her channel. And that helps to give her that positive to support back for all that she's given to her community over the years too. And if you want to do that for me and Miss Kelly, we would so appreciate it. You know, I know Sacred Spiral just started a couple months ago and we're still growing. So if you go ahead and give a like on her page on the Sacred Spiral Network, we would so appreciate it, because she's working super hard behind the scenes. And she'll be on in a little under an hour with her show. She's doing a fabulous interview as well. So get some lunch, get some dinner, and come on over there too. And again, there's some fabulous events this weekend: the Father's Day demonstration with Debbie Romero and Kelly tomorrow, and then Sunday service on Sunday with Kelly, and Debbie will be there as well. Melinda's our medium and Fran's our poet. And Miss Nancy too is going to be there too. My whole angel team from For the Love of Spirit, we're all going to be there this Sunday. So we hope that you can join us for a little hour and a half on Father's Day, and it will be full of love and joy. And with that, I want to say thank you, Meagan. I love you. I hope you'll come back. It's been such an honor to have you here today too. And please remember to let love be your guide. Let it lead the way. You know, it may take you on a fabulous journey, but it won't lead you astray, and it will always take you to where you're supposed to be. So don't give up on love, and let all of this beauty that we've created together here and enjoy be multiplied infinitely, so that every being, every form of consciousness, every divine spark feels loved. So thank you to everybody who joined. Big shout out to the gentlemen and the dads out there who are working so hard for our families. We love you. All the dads in spirit, all the fur dads, all the stepdads, all the Leica dads. We love you, we love you, we love you. And have a fabulous weekend. So bye everybody, and see you next week on Embracing Infinity. We'll have Daniela Florio. We're really excited to have her. So bye everybody. Thank you.
Bye everyone.